the economic inheritance is going to be pretty dire, whatever the Conservatives do between now and the general election, because for a variety of reasons, not least, we seem to have once-in-a-generation crises almost annually. You've had the sort of financial crisis, you've had COVID, you've had Brexit, all these sort of shocks to the economy. So actually the inheritance isn't going to be great, whatever happens. So in that sense, what more needs to be done to make it difficult? I mean, that in a sense might be an argument for having an early election, as it gives them an even more difficult. If you assume that things are going to get better over time.
Do you assume that?
No, I never assume that in any aspect of life, to be perfectly honest. But I'd like to think of myself as an outlier on that. But, I've heard people say that actually, the earlier the election is, the more difficult the economic inheritance for Labour is. I'm not sure that's going to convince the Prime Minister to go early, to be perfectly honest, because I think the Prime Minister is more focused on his own job than he is on the sort of broader what might happen if I lose then after a next election. One of the lessons of the last couple of decades is if you lose your reputation for economic credibility, you get it back when the other side loses theirs. So you go back to 1992 and Black Wednesday. The Tories lost their reputation for economic credibility. Essentially, the two parties swapped places again in 2008 after the financial crash, where Labour lost their reputation for economic credibility. And here, the Truss mini-budget seems to be another switch over. So I'm not sure there's much the Conservatives can do in power, unless there's a remarkable turnaround in the economy, which no one seems to expect, to get that reputation back. You get that reputation back when your opponents lose theirs. So in that sense, I think Labour can be fairly relaxed in terms of where the numbers are in terms of who we trust on the economy.